Hey audio nerds, welcome back, and today we're going to be looking at one of the most premium products that we've reviewed on this channel, the Meze 109 Pro headphones. Just look at these beauties. Straight off the bat, I'm going to let you know that I absolutely love these open-backed headphones, and I think they do more than enough to justify their steep £799 asking price. Now, the set that I've just shown you is lent to me for evaluation by Meze for a couple of weeks. Shout out to Razvan at Meze, who went to great lengths to get this pair to me. Now, I'm not being paid for the review, and Meze have had no input into the video, so I would say that the 109 Pro are the next step on the audiophile journey that you might want to take if your first step, your first purchase, was something like the HD 650 from Sennheiser or the Hi-Fi Man Sundaras. Now, both of those occupy the sub £500 territory, and they do represent phenomenal value and great sound quality. So if you're happy with those, then I urge you to stop watching the video. How many times you hear a creator doing that? Stop watching this video, go and do something more useful and save yourself a few £100. However, if you want to open the Pandora's jar, not the box, the jar, of higher quality head-fi equipment, then you should definitely be tempted by these wonderful 109 Pros. If you've not heard of Meze, they're a boutique hi-fi brand founded by Antonio Meze in Romania, and indeed all their products, I believe, are still manufactured in Romania. They've gained a lot of traction amongst the audiophile community with their range of rather ornately fashioned headphones, ranging from the relatively affordable 99 series all the way to the megabucks Empyrean headphones. They've also gained a lot of publicity due to the likes of big YouTube influencers like our great mate DankPod, well, I'd like to be his mate, who sings their praises frequently. I've never owned a pair of Meze headphones, so having heard of all the hype surrounding the 109 Pros, I was really curious to find out whether their sonic chops equaled their undeniably fabulous build and design. We'll come to the sound, but it would be criminal not to admire the craftsmanship that's gone into these beautiful headphones. Everything is just so finely detailed and well put together, from the wooden ear cups, the self-adjusting elastic headband, and even the little metal pieces that hold everything together. Now, you might think they look a little bit blingy, but remember, these are headphones designed to be worn here at home in your listening room. Open back headphones, by their very nature, make for very poor travelling companions, so yeah, I can definitely be happy wearing them in the privacy of my own home and have something more nondescript, like for example the Sennheiser Momentum 4.4 when I'm out and about. Now, the ear pads on the Meze 109 Pros are made of a very comfy velour material, and the driver is exposed both internally and externally by the metal grills. The drivers are slightly angled within the ear cups, and the cable enters obliquely, making it pretty obvious and easy to tell which way round they go, but there is a helpful left and right marking on the headband if you get confused. Now, on the head, these are truly some of the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn. There is no sense of excessive weight on the headband or excessive clamping over the ears, and there are no adjustments to make. That elastic headband means that they just sit perfectly, however big or small or oddly shaped your head is. You do get a shorter and longer 3.5mm terminated cable in the retail box, along with the usual 6.4-inch adapter, but Meze were kind enough to send a premium balanced 4.4mm cable too, which is predominantly what I've been using. Also in the box you get a very handsome hard case to protect your headphones, although they do fit slightly tightly inside. Now, technically the 109 Pro is a dynamic driver headphone. The driver is interesting though, as it features a composite construction incorporating a beryllium coated polymer and a cellulose carbon fibre composite, the whole array being held within an aluminium frame with copper zinc stabilizer. Gosh, that's a lot of jargon, isn't it? But the carbon fibre is intended to improve the high frequency response of the headphones. The 109 Pro are relatively easy to drive. Their impedance is rated at 40 ohms and their sensitivity is really high for headphones at 112 decibels. And what this means, if you're not a physics geek, is that you can drive them very nicely even out of your iPhone Apple dongle, although they scale nicely to more powerful sources if you use them. So now on to the important part, the listening. A few of you recently have demanded that I start sharing again with you what I'm listening to recently and what I've been using to test these with. So here goes. I've been obsessed with old Depeche Mode albums, particularly Violator, my all-time favourite, and Songs of Faith and Devotion. I've been listening to those in preparation for the new album, which I believe is out next month. There have been a couple of songs streamed already, and yeah, I think they're pretty good, but as always with Depeche Mode, we need to hear what the whole album sounds like. I've also been loving the new live album Night Sessions by French electronic artist Maud Geffray, and the new Caroline Polachek album Desire I Want to Turn Into You. Clever title, clever songs. I've yet to make up my mind about the new Gorillaz album Cracker Island, but I've been listening to it a lot anyway. Oh, and for fellow Radiohead fans out there, do go check out Phil Selway's latest album, Strange Dance. From the lyrics and the tone, you can clearly tell that this is related to Radiohead's work, but it's melodically subtle and musically varied. It's kind of slow-paced, slightly downbeat stuff, exactly what you'd expect the drummer from Radiohead to make. But no, it's a really good album. I'm not damning it with faint praise. So first impressions of the sound from the Meze 109 are of a warm, lush, detailed and involving sound with plenty of top-end sparkle. What it absolutely isn't is a neutral tuning, so if you're after that, then you'd best look elsewhere, let's face it. So let's break that sound signature down. The bass is really wonderful here. Although it's deeply extended, I think it's a mid-bass which hits hardest. The bass is not at all flabby though, and it's definitely taut and quite punchy. So if you listen to, for example, Stone Roses' Fool's Gold, which is a track which relies almost entirely on the repeated bass riff to keep you moving, you can't help but tap your feet. The bass hits equally hard with EDM music, and Polar from the Maud Geffray live album absolutely sounds like the banger that it is when played through the Meze 109s. Now the mid-range is really lush and organic and pretty linear up to 1 kHz. I believe there's a dip between 1 and 2 kHz, presumably to reduce the chance of the dreaded honking or shoutiness. We then get a little bit of treble gain, upper, mid and treble gain. This translates into a brilliant experience if you're listening to vocals, particularly female vocals. There's also plenty of texture to both acoustic and electric instruments, and they sound properly organic. I keep using that word, but they sound natural. The timbre is excellent. So listen to Night Swimming by REM, and you're almost transported straight into the recording studio with Stipe's crystal clear vocal line cutting through the sparkling piano, accompanied by the string section. It really is a fabulous way to experience that song. Now the treble extension has been singled out online as perhaps being a bit too bright, a bit too hot, but to these late 40-something-year-old ears, it's absolutely fine and non-fatiguing. Remember, you tend to lose treble sensitivity a bit as you get older. Now I really enjoy the extra details of the slightly hot treble and the sense of airiness that also brings. Yes, I'd say there was a touch of sibilance now and again, particularly on badly mastered tracks, but overall, for me, it's not a deal breaker. If you are treble sensitive, you might find these a little bit too much. For me, the treble spice adds a nice counterpoint to the mid-bass punch. Technicalities on these are particularly good. Soundstage is better than the HD 650, but not quite as good as the HD 800S. I don't own those, but I've heard them, and the soundstage on those is truly mind-boggling. It really does, however, sound like an out-of-head experience on the Meze 109s, which is just great. The imaging and layering of individual instruments and vocals is really impressive, and there's plenty of detail retrieval, as I've said. The dynamics are also stunning, which makes something like Porcelina of the Vast Oceans by the Smashing Pumpkins an absolute delight to listen to when those heavy guitars kick in. Overall, the 109 Pro are incredibly enjoyable regardless of the genre of music you listen to, and they always make me smile. How do they compare to the Sundaras and the HD 650s behind me? Well, it's not really a fair fight because both of those cost a lot less than the Meze 109s. But I'd say the main thing is that they are far less neutral and are tuned more for enjoyment, but they also offer far more detail and the technicalities are better than either of those. The build quality is clearly much better than certainly the Sundaras and also the HD 650s. Those are built like tanks, but they're very plasticky. They're much more comfortable than either of those two headphones for prolonged listening. Compared to premium wireless models such as the Focal Batiste, which cost almost as much as the Meze 109s, there is no competition. The 109 Pros surpass the Batiste in every single way when it comes to sound quality, and the difference between them really highlights the gulf there is between expensive Bluetooth headphones and expensive wired headphones. It's going to take ages before Bluetooth headphones can really reproduce the kind of fidelity that you get with the Mezes. Now, I've enjoyed listening to the 109 Pro even using the Apple dongle, as I've already said, direct from my iPhone, but they sound particularly spectacular through my Q-Style M15 dongle DAC. The extra power that gives, along with the clean DAC circuitry, really adds body to the mid-range and weight to the bass in particular. So yes, I absolutely adore these 109 Pros. As I say, I'm not getting paid, there are no affiliate links or anything like that. I simply think these are some of the best headphones that I've ever heard. Their sound quality combined with their aesthetic and their build, I just think it hits all the right notes, no puns intended. And I will almost certainly be buying a pair of these myself when I return these to Meze. So thanks once again to Meze for sending them to me for a review. They are very, very deserving winners of the Audio Fixation Gold Award. These are a very, very clear recommendation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below as always, and I'll see you in the next video.